Everybody, it's another Facebook Live. Is everybody so excited? Yes. Mark Zawaideh, my good friend, longtime friend. Now I can say you're my business partner and co-owner with me at eXp Realty, my friend. It's good to have you, and I'm excited to talk about the topic of eXp. And again, the shock that's happening around the country, seeing that you've actually moved over to eXp instead of going independent, which you've been very vocal about. That was the only thing you were going to do, was go independent. So I'm glad that we're going to get to have this discussion. I want to unpack that and some of the reasons why you made this decision, my friend.
Yeah, exciting times, Jake. Gosh, it's been a tornado the past 3 or 4 days. Was not expecting this out of the gate. You forgot to tell me that. But yeah, it's been great, man. It's been exciting.
Right.
We got everybody on. We ready to start?
Yeah, we're good, man.
Okay.
We're good.
So yeah, I remember this like yesterday. I think we had a conversation. It was late at night, and you told me all about it. Told me you got to watch the webinar, man. Just watch the webinar because you're gonna lose 2-3 days of sleep after you watch that webinar, and that's where it all started.
You know, it's funny because you're a lot like me, and I'm busy, and you're busy, and nobody has time to invest an hour in anything, right? Like that's. Asking somebody to watch, an hour webinar is probably the hardest thing to get somebody to do. But it's one of those things that once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's what I try to tell everybody is, listen, you're going to lose sleep when you see this. You can't not see it if you invest the hour. And I think that's really when most people have the biggest aha moment. If you watch it and you're open-minded and you look at it and you look at all your alternatives and then you start doing, okay, well, what am I going to do here? What's the best thing? It's pretty clear that that's the right direction to go. But you were going to go independent, so tell me a little bit about why you were going independent in the first place, because you've been at Keller Williams for how long now? It was 12 years.
12, 13 years.
Right. So what was the reason to going independent? What was kind of the purpose behind that was driving that decision?
Jay, I think it's kind of like what this country in general just brainwashes you into thinking that one day the ultimate goal is for you to retire and sit back and just relax, right? But I don't know about you. All my friends, any guys I know that have retired, end up getting back in the workplace. It's not all right. I was raised in this industry that one day maybe you're going to be big enough that you can go out on your own, right? And so. Right. I bought into that philosophy that was the ultimate goal. If the time ever came that I could branch off of one of the big box franchises and do this on my own, ultimately that's the best thing financially, security, freedom, all those different things that being independent gives you. And so the right building came up in the right area. I bought it and I was set to go. Went through construction, went through remodel, pain and agony of creating the space, and then we had that call.
So I love you, man. I always have fun when I'm talking to you, and I just know, what I'm saying, like having gone down exactly down the same path as you. In fact, my dad wanted me to buy his real estate business, which was the Coldwell Banker franchise. And I kept doing the math, and I kept looking at the P&Ls and trying to figure out, is this the right move? Am I going to get more free or less free making this decision? Right. And I'm glad my dad was cool with it, because he totally understood that the margins just weren't there with the franchise fee and everything, and it just didn't make sense. And I wasn't going to get to do more of what I wanted to do, more freedom, which is all I was trying to get to, was more freedom. I was going to be more likely stuck in my business had I gone that route. So, I went independent and, learned all the lessons that, that you learn as you go independent is, are you really building an asset that's sellable? We tell ourselves a story that it is, but the reality is it's, if you're going to be lucky enough to sell it, and it's just a big question mark, right, as to whether you're going to be able to sell it or do anything with it. And I think when we get down to what's the truth, right? What's truth? That's all we're really looking for, is what's true. Is that you're not getting more free by going independent, right? So, what was the mindset? Like, you're watching this webinar, you're learning about eXp and their business model. What were the aha moments? Like, what was the holy crap moments that you kind of experienced that you knew, crap, I'm really going to look at this a lot closer?
Gosh, where do I begin? How long do we got, Jay? We got an hour here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, there was so much. I remember when I watched it twice back to back. Because I watched it the first time and I was just absorbing it all, taking it all in. And then I watched it a second time and took notes. And when I got done taking all the notes, I was like, I figured out that I couldn't do this independently. I couldn't offer anything that they were offering. It would cost me literally millions of dollars to recreate what they were offering. The stickiness of the company. Once you're in, it's real hard to get out because of everything you're surrounded by. They mentioned they give you a choice of a couple websites, and each website would normally on my own cost me $3,000-$4,000. And then every team member gets a website. Okay, well, I've got a team website, but all of my agents don't have websites. That would cost me, another $300-$400 a month for each agent. That's thousands of dollars right there.
Right.
Then I thought about, right now what's real big in KW is expansion, right? Expand here, expand there. Okay, well, they got expansion on lockdown. There's not a better system for expansion than this model. Are you kidding me? Expansion, you go find a space, and if you're a broker, you put your name on the sign. You're a branch office. If you're not a broker, you go expand into any city you want. Are you serious? That costs some desks, some chairs. Let's think about that. What does that really cost? I got some right now, and they're probably watching this. They were about to sign a KW new franchise agreement, and I can't even tell you the hundreds of thousands it was all going to cost in order to get this up and running, and how much net you have to have, and what it's going to cost to open up the franchise. Well, in this model, it's literally as simple as finding space. That's expansion.
Right. It's it costs $99.50. It's almost unbelievable.
It's ridiculous. And then people will say, "Oh, that's too good to be true." Everything I'm about to tell you is just too good to be true, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
It does feel that way, and in fact, that was my initial exposure to eXp was from Chris Waters. And Chris Waters had recorded a webinar or actually with Glenn and maybe even Jason and a couple others that were presenting it to him. And at the end of it, I was like, I think Chris sent it to me because he saw the business model, and we were trying to build something anyway. So like, these are things maybe we should try to leverage because it's a good business model. But there's no way in the world that we could have executed what Glenn's been able to execute with this company. It just, they were too far along. They had nailed too much of the bigger parts with, a broker in every state, and we were trying to expand into other markets. So, that was, it was just a no brainer when we saw that. It's like, and then you see, what's the biggest problem you have in expansion? Well, you got to come up with your own lead gen. Okay. Right. Everybody gets your own lead gen platform. Okay. Right. That problem is solved. Now you can literally go into any market in the country. You can open, partner, build a team with anybody in any place in at least 47 states. And that's not something that, you can build overnight. Oh, and by the way, it's publicly traded, and the stock opportunity and equity opportunity and ownership, agent ownership, huge deal. The Charlie Munger quote, we talk about this a lot, and probably one of the biggest lessons I've learned in my lifetime. And I've learned it more than once, which I hate learning lessons more than once. But it's the one of the 25 biases that Charlie Munger talks about, and it's compensation drives behavior. And if you get that right, it's magical. And if you get it wrong, things don't work. And the compensation alignment in this model with having ownership and, the growth of the company and when mortgage and title, becomes available, the fact that more people are going to be likely to use it because we all benefit as owners of the company with, shares in the company. It's just it's just a really beautiful thing, right? Like you just, when you see a business model that's so dialed in and you're like, man, I see principally all these principles are in alignment for this thing to really do well. Like this is, I ain't trying to recreate the wheel. I'm in.
That's it. I mean, it would take me years to rebuild a train, or I just jump on this one, right? I mean,
right.
This is moving so fast. Nobody can stop this. How are you going to stop it? How are you going to combat it? How can you recreate this? This isn't as simple as, Apple's got a new iPhone and Android creates another one just like it. You can't just recreate this. Otherwise, there'd be some competition out there right now. As far as I know, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, and there's not a when we look at disruption, and we've been paying close attention to this kind of thing for a long time. Never saw it coming from the disrupting the brokerage. We always looked at the consumer, disrupting it for the consumer. But as you look at this this model, we always said the disruption is going to come from an outsider that's coming in, not from someone who recreates their model or shifts and tries to recreate their model, because it's too difficult to do that. You can't you really can't engineer this into a current business very easily, like a Coldwell Banker or a Citrus 21 or even a Keller Williams. You can't undo your bricks and mortar fast enough to try to be compete at this level in a cloud-based company. And not to talk about any particular company that thinks they're going to pivot and do something like that, but good luck is all I can say, because if you're going to try to pivot and catch this company, it's too late. You're done. You done messed up. It's on its way at this point, and I'm just glad that I was able to watch it, and more importantly, what for me, it's about working with people like you and Curtis Johnson and and Daniel Beer and people that just genuinely want to help people, right? Like I want to help agents be more successful. I know that that's what inspires you and your team. This decision isn't about you personally. It's about this is what's better for your team. It's it's a better way. And I've spent my whole life chasing there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. And finally, I can stop chasing that because I found it.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I know since this has come together, me and you have talked more than we've ever talked in our whole life, right?
Right. Yep.
So if that happens, I mean, think about what they did to the industry. If that happens, what a great community if we're all spending all of our time helping each other, sell more homes, and in the meantime, we all make a lot more money. Is there something that's too good to be true about that? Or have they just figured out a model that actually does something great also for the consumer? Because the better trained we are, the more homes we sell, the better experience that the consumer gets. I mean, it seems like a win-win all the way around, right?
It's me and Michael was talking about this yesterday, and innovation, all innovation is the adding of value, right? So what we all do as mega agents and producers is we're always innovating. How do we add more value to the customer experience? That's what the consumer, and this is what eXp understands this. The agent has the relationship with the consumer. So the agent is the one that's driving the business. It's not the brokerage. And fighting that, how do we put a model together, where we disrupt that in a way that more agents are going to come on board to be able to iterate and add more value and innovate with, the opportunity. The competitive advantage we have is that if we tell other people about this business, not just us, anybody, the agents on our team, everybody that has an opportunity and going out and telling people about this company has the ability to generate a passive income, whether it's $500, $1,000, $3,000, or $10,000, or like I've seen $150,000 a month. Not that that's normal, but I've seen and I know people. I've seen their accounts. That's a big time life changing. But having the ability to now take that additional money. So I was talking to an agent yesterday. Guy's doing $4 million in production, and like, let me tell you, he goes, I see you doing all these mega producer interviews, and I got a little different perspective. I'm doing $4 million in production, and for me, let me tell you what's a big deal. I'm spending $1,600 on a platform to try to generate some leads. I come over here to eXp and I'm paying $50 a month for basically the same tool, and he's looking at all the just the incremental little cost that he was having to try to do his $4 million a year. And he said, I got more money to invest back in my business. I got a competitive advantage now to go invest and grow my business. And right. I was like, man, you are so right. That's, that's a huge deal for most agents. And I don't know if they, if you haven't watched the webinar, you need to invest the time. But as an agent producing $2, $3, $4 million a year, to get to that next level, it takes lead gen, and you got to have a budget for that. But if you're paying $1,500 for the tool or the tools that you need, you don't have the money to invest. So I thought that was really interesting. But that's, a competitive advantage. You got a little bit of revenue share, let's say, you only tell a handful of people, but you can take that $2,000 or $3,000 and put that into your budget to grow your business now. Right. So, I think we're going to see a standard, raising the standard of production for real estate agents at eXp. I think agents at eXp are going to produce more than the average around the country, which is something we've never seen done in a company before. And I think the reasons why are because the way that they've lowered the cost so you can invest in your business and acquiring customers, invest more money to acquire customers for all agents. And the fact that they're aligning all of us to want to help agents become more successful, right? Like, right. You couldn't ask for a better place to be in business or to be in business with, right?
And hey, there's people out there that say, hey, I'm not a recruiter. Okay, but listen, no different than selling homes. Everybody can bring one or two people in. You do realize that if you just bring in one person that sells $3 million a year, you're making $250 a month, $3,000 a year, $2,800 a year. How many times have you heard people, I talked to a lady the other day, she was a bus driver. I said, how long have you been doing that for? She's like, long time, but you know what? They got great insurance, they pay for my insurance. People stay with companies because they pay for their insurance, $300 to $500 a month. So you bring in one agent, you telling me you can't attract one agent into the company that does $2-3 million a year and make just one agent, Jay?
That's it. Yeah.
Right? So I'm not saying it's no different than selling homes. I'm not saying everyone needs to get into the industry and be a Mark Z and sell $100 million of real estate. But hey, you can make a great living selling 20, 30 homes. And that's very doable, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. And, that's, and not everybody's going to be, a mega agent or aspires to want to be a mega agent, but we all want to live comfortably and we all want to have more freedom. And, when you look at for the next 10 years, if you're going to be in the business for the next 10 years, where should you be? Where should you hang your license? What's going to give you the best opportunity for success when you truly evaluate the options, and being able to partner with Mark Z, how many homes did you sell last year? I'm not even up to date with your most recent, your totals. So what, I heard some rumors about how many it was, but I don't know what it is. So how many did you sell last year?
In the last couple of years, we sold a little over $200 million and over 900 homes. So
that's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So you could probably help somebody with if they need to sell a house, or if they're wanting to learn how to sell more houses. You think you could probably help them with that?
That's the beauty about what we got going on here. There's a lot of help, a lot of marketing material and different things that I can help with, scripts and dialogues. That's what we do. That's how we sell so many homes. So just like you said, that's what the company does. It aligns us with helping other realtors. One thing that people have asked me this past week is, how can they keep giving out this revenue? How can they keep doing it? Well, everyone mentions brick and mortar, but I don't think people really grasp what goes along with brick and mortar. It's not just the rent. What comes inside this brick and mortar? And for everyone that wants to know, how can the company give back all of this money back to the agents? Well, let's think about what their expenses really are here. When Jay says no brick and mortar, that means they don't have a manager in the office. They're not paying the taxes, the insurance, the lights, the electricity. This manager. 5 managers deep, secretaries, admins. They don't have any of those costs. What they said was, we're going to turn those costs over to the realtor if they want them and need them. Out of our office that I was at, we had 300 plus agents, Jay. Not more than 20 or 30 came in the office every day. So, but they're paying for us to use it every single day, right? Yep. One way or another, everybody's combining to pay for this brick and mortar. So what eXp did was they said, listen, we're not going to take this burden on. For those of you that need it and want it, we have some free space available. But if you need more space than that, you're going to take that on yourselves. But in the meantime, we're going to give you guys back thousands of dollars so that you can afford to pay for that space and then some. And that's how they do it. It's very, it's not too good to be true. It's not that it can't be done. It could very easily be done.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny. I went to a gathering of the Eagles or something along those lines. It's been several years ago. I actually shot a YouTube video while I was there. I was shocked. At what I heard. And it was, you know, these are the largest brokerages in the country. So like it's the top 100 brokerages and independents, franchises, affiliates, and all that kind of stuff, right? So they're all up there. They had a panel, and this is what their panel was. This was their, like, they were trying to solve the problem of office space, because that was, when you're looking at the margins of, again, you got to look at the business model. The reason why this is so attractive to agents, mega agents, and why you can get all the technology you get. There's the revenue share opportunity and the shares in the company and all that. But the reason the business model works is because they removed what is the biggest cost, which is hundreds of millions of dollars for these big box brokers across the country. When you look at a franchise model, it's a ton of money and investment in people and office equipment and shares and everything else. It's not saying that you can't or shouldn't have that in your business. It's saying they don't, which allows them to give money back and allows them to operate much less than everybody else does. It gives them a competitive advantage. And so I'm watching them, and they're literally on stage, and they got these huge mega agent brokers. Phenomenal, huge businesses operating on thin margins, right? Like 1-2% to 5%, is all they're making in net profit. And their big discussion was about how to get rid of office space and how to whittle down how much office space you have and lower your operating costs. And that was how they were thinking at the time. This was several years ago, but that was their biggest opportunity, was to try to get rid of office space. So they can't compete at this level, with this type of a model. It's just not, it's not feasible for them to. So, the brokerage model, they can't add value. And my point is, as an agent, if they're trying to, shed costs, they're not looking at ways to add more value to you as the agent, because as an agent, you're trying to get more of the commission, because everyone else is offering, you keep most of your money here. You come here, you pay just this one fee and close deals, but they don't focus on adding value. And I think what eXp nailed was, let's think of the agent first, since we know the agent is the one that controls the consumer. We know the agents are the ones that bring in all the deals. And if we want to incentivize our agents to go tell other agents, so we don't want to have to have to pay someone to go recruit, and we don't have a regional person that's in charge of building out a region, and we don't have a team leader and operating partners and all this other stuff that are built into these franchise models that you have to pay all these people, we could just give that money back to the agents for telling people about the company. And it's a fascinating, it's genius. It was a move that I didn't see coming, and I'm just blown away by it every day.
Yeah. So next, what else was I thinking when I watched the webinar, and why I did this instead of independent? Well, okay, how about the fact that they have a publicly traded company that has stock shares, and every commission check, you can take up to 5% of your commission. I mean, think about this. Listen to this. 5% of your commission, and buy the stock at a 20% discount from day one. So that means right now the stock's at $12. You close a deal, you get to buy it at $9.60.
Right.
I mean, could I do that as an independent?
I
can't compete. Who can? So instantly you get to buy 5% out of every closing. I mean, that's a nice savings plan every year.
Right. You're already in it at 20%, discount. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a better return than you could get on the average in the marketplace by double. So at least maybe triple. So
it's 20% off now. And then, I mean, if you look at what's going on with the company, I heard now they're onboarding over 1,500, 2,000 agents a month is what
right
now. What's I hear that I was talking to a gentleman the other day that's higher up in management. He said they've got over 4,000 people trying to onboard right now. 4,000. Yeah. So what do you think is going to happen with that stock?
I am. I'm no stock analyst, and I'm not making any future claims or income claims here. But I would think it might go north. Be my guess, and I'm just guessing.
Yeah. Same here, Jay. So you know what else I like though about the fact that it's a publicly traded company is, one thing that's notorious in these big box brokerages is everybody's on a different deal, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Everybody's got a different split, a different cap, depending on how much you sell or where you came from. I tried negotiating when I came on. I'm not going to lie. I tried to get a better deal, and their answer was 2 or 3 times, Mark, we're a publicly traded company. If we change anything, we've got to go in front of the board of directors. It is what it is, and we believe that the opportunity is big enough that we don't need to modify anything right now. And how can you not respect that?
Right.
There's no special deals. And if you're going to be part owner of a company, I mean, isn't that the consistency you want? What I'm saying, Jay, is the company is forcing us as realtors to step up and be professionals and think like business people here.
Right.
You guys call yourself entrepreneurs. You act like you want to own a company. Well, here you go. Here's a chance. Start thinking about it like you're the owner of a company. And that's right. You got to respect that. Everybody's on the same plan. They got 2 or 3 different comp plans. You're one of those 3, and that's it. There's no special privileges. That's
right.
Great.
Yep.
That's great. How about what they also offer independent agents? What's it called? The SkySlope, the paperless transaction software, and e-digital signature, free.
Right.
Free. All part of your $50 a month technology package.
Right.
$250 a month.
Right.
That's money to me.
Yep.
Here's one of the biggest things to me. This is what really got me excited. This is where I pretty much stopped watching the webinar and asked where I could sign. The 20 live training webinars a week.
Right.
I mean, I don't know about you. I don't mind training, but I can't keep up with 20 a week. Where am I going to get 20 live ones a week?
It's nuts. You go in there. Al was in there yesterday, and he's like, "Well, I'm gonna go in the auditorium while he was in the cloud and see what's going on." And they were in there doing a live training. I was in there the other day. They were doing training on on blogging. I mean, you couldn't create the content independently. You couldn't create the content at the pace that they can. And like they'll ask you. You'll be in there presenting and sharing something. They reached out to me yesterday. I'm going to do a training in the next couple weeks in the cloud. Training that that I typically would be charging for, but I'm doing it for everybody as a part of the company because we all win together, right? Like it's and when you got this many great agents in a company, and you're smart enough to leverage that as a part of the business model, good luck competing with it. I just haven't seen anyone else even get close to the level of training and the amount of training and access that you have to the greatest agents in the country. I just haven't ever seen a model like this that exists. So I wouldn't want to try to compete with it. I know that.
How can me as an independent or any other brokerage compete with having the best trainers in the country? People have lived and breathed this stuff. Teach it live, and let's face it, there's something to be said about something live. I'm going to pay a lot more attention to something that's live than going and watching. People say, oh, they can watch training videos all day, every day, anyway. There's something to be said about, when Jay's on stage live. My agents are going to tune in and watch that, right? That's a hell of an opportunity. And
how much money not traveling around the country to go to those events, right? Like you can go, there's 500 people in the auditorium, and they're all sitting in the comfort of their home. They have to fly to Dallas to see that event and pay for $2,000 over that, for flights, food, and rooms and all that. You do it right there in the cloud.
And you don't have to travel either as a presenter. I know you love that.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
I was talking about this with the manager. I said, okay, look at the scalability of this. So Jay's teaching a class in the auditorium. It's not like you need to get a bigger auditorium if 5,000 people show up. What do? Add an extra row in the back row of the theater? I mean,
right. What does that cost you?
What's that cost you? Exactly. So everything about it is just the scalability, right? And they've got the best agents in the country to teach classes. I mean, what other brokerage can get that done 20 times a week, 15 times a week? How do you scale that? Forget an independent. How does another broker scale that? How do you do that?
It goes back to the Charlie Munger, alignment, compensation alignment, and opportunity. The reason that we're here is because they've aligned compensation and they've aligned the opportunity for us to want to help grow this company. Bottom line, that's how you get us to do it. Is you create a company that has aligned compensation to our behaviors to the that they want to the compensation model, and I'll show up for that training now.
Right.
Right.
Then they came to the stock shares. So they're giving me 50 stock shares when I close my first deal. Then they're going to give me 100 stock shares when I cap. They're going to give me another 100 when an agent signs up under me when they do their first deal. So that's the first year. I've got 250 shares coming. Right now, that equates to $2,500, $3,000. Who's giving me that? And again, I can't give that to every one of my agents, but I can now.
Right. Yeah.
I look like a hero. I look like a hero now.
Right. And here's the thing, Mark. None of my agents, anyways. Maybe maybe you had something that I didn't have, but I really want my agents to succeed. I really want them to live a better life. And some of them have been with me 10, 12 years. Some of them the guys that run my company now, and Lawton, they have been with me probably 15 years now. And they're some of my close friends. They didn't set themselves up for success in terms of retirement. Most agents don't. You don't have any way, if you think about, 10 years from now, how much you're going to have set aside for retirement? Do you have an exit strategy? Are you going to be taken care of? You're not, you're self-employed. You're not paying in Social Security. So what are you doing to put yourself in a better position long term? And now that's built into our business model. You get that at eXp. So just a much better all around business model.
Yeah, no question. Okay. And it doesn't stop there. Then the next slide came up and it said, after you cap a 16,000, you do 20 more deals, we're going to give you back your $16,000 in stock shares. I'm like,
you're going to give it back?
You're going to give it back? Yeah. How does this work?
All I have to do is do more deals.
Right.
I mean, the more successful I am, the more you're going to give me back. That sounds good.
So, all of these propositions that I now get to pass on to my team as well, right? In addition to telling all the other agents in the marketplace, how about my team? How about the stickiness now of my team, the value proposition and the possibility and the chances you have? I mean, okay, if you don't take advantage of all the different tools and opportunities, fine, but at least the opportunity's there.
Right.
It's not there anywhere else. If one day you wake up and you actually see what this could be, like I did, like you did, like Daniel Beer did, Curtis Johnson, like all these guys did. Yesterday you interviewed Brett Jennings.
Yep.
There's a reason why we do the deals in the volume that we do. And I think one of the biggest common characteristics is we all think real big, right?
Right.
We think about what it could be. And when you think about what it could be, just depending on how big you think, there's someone that thought so big that they're getting checks for over $100K a month.
Right.
And we're still in the infancy stage right now. I mean, if you look at our agent count, 10, 12,000. I mean, it's nearly nothing, Jay.
There's the thing that you really want to blow your mind is think, if you really want to think big, somebody called me the other day, wanted to open up Belize. And they're trying to get that pushed through right now. And it's not going to happen. Probably we're probably a good 18 months. I mean, we got a lot of work, a lot of ground to cover in the United States and Canada. But this is a global company. This is not a we're going to be in every country in the world. This platform scales easily to anywhere we want to be. So you start thinking, wow, you know what? I like Australia. I've never really gotten to spend much time there. Maybe I'm going to have at some point have 1,000 agents that I've helped to bring into the company in Australia. It's just incredible. For the big thinkers that it's going to continue to attract we're in the very beginning. So anybody who thinks they're getting in late at this point or feels like, oh man, I wish I got in sooner. This is sooner. This is the beginning. We're not even catching ground yet. So, I mean, it's so many people don't know about eXp. It's not even, it's unbelievable to me.
Jay, when you think about the top 5 earners right now that you personally know, and I know they send you their screenshots of their dashboard because it's exciting. I mean, name off some of those numbers. A month.
So the biggest one that I've seen, and they don't even have 40, so they're not getting paid on their 7th level. They've been in the company 2.5 years.
Yeah.
So, again, so you're thinking in the context of, okay, well, you only got 38 people in 2.5 years. I mean, you were serious about it, definitely, agent attraction, but you weren't that serious about it. 38, I mean, this is a pretty big opportunity. If you could only get 38 in 2.5 years, you could have probably got more. I think there was a period where you took off like a whole 3 months and didn't do anything too. But it was 152,000 is what I saw, and I know it's more than that right now. And it will, their projections are just like we do a seasonality calculator, and we know that in May, June, July, August, 10-11% of all home sales happen in each of those months.
Right.
Because revenue share, you tend to, and it's 5-6% in the December, January, February months. It literally doubles in the summertime. So productivity across the country, on average, if you were to take a percentage, typically doubles. So your revenue share, what I'm being told, I've only been in the company 4 months, so mine doubles every month. But their expectations are, because they have historically seen it, is it doubles, it goes and doubles. So, I mean, you're talking 300,000 probably a month is what they're talking, 200,000 and 300,000. And, another guy showed me he cracked 100,000 a month this last month, just barely over, and that's actually been paid. And again, this is not normal. And we're not saying that everybody's going to make $100,000 a month by any stretch of the imagination. The average person, I don't know what the average numbers are. We probably should be like telling people what that is, but it's probably not much at all because people aren't doing anything with it. Some people aren't, but it's an incredible opportunity. I've met agents that I would say aren't recruiters. They're just in their market telling agents about it, recruiting and building their own team that have $16,000 a month. That money is a game changer, right? Another person that I know that's not even really selling much real estate, but they coach and train agents and stuff like that, and they're making $30,000 a month, or they made $30,000 last month or whatever. So again, it's just they're incredible numbers. And when you think about it, it's like, how's that even possible? My wife asked me that. She's like, how's that even possible that they could pay that much money? I said, when you think about somebody who's got 3,000, 4,000 agents down in their downline, and their revenue share team. I hate to use the word downline, but that's always what sticks in my head. But in your revenue share team, and they're all doing real estate transactions and they're all producing, and you're getting a percentage of every deal that they do off the top. These are real numbers, and it's not something that the company isn't. It's not. They expect that. They expect to be paying some people $1 million a month. I've heard Glenn Sanford say that, and that's but that's not what this is all about. Obviously, I think it's about producing agents and building a great company of top producing agents around the country. And the reason that most agents are coming on board is because it costs you less to operate in this environment. And you have a bigger upside opportunity than anywhere else you could hang your license, including opening your own company. So that's why people are moving in droves, and you can't stop it. Once, you bring a few people on, they're going to tell people who are going to tell people who are going to tell people. And, that was my biggest takeaway was he only did 38, but he's got 3,500. How did that happen?
That's right.
It's just, the growth that happens underneath you can't stop. Just like we have 400, we crossed 400 in our revenue share team in the last couple of days. And, our goal, I've never had this happen before, Mark, ever. Our goal was 200. And, we were concerned because you don't know what's going to happen. You can't actually impact it as much as you might.
I can't believe you blew past your goal.
Right.
Yours are so big.
I know, right? Like I never hit the goal. We always optimist, eternal optimist. We're gonna, we're gonna crush it. We're gonna do this. So that was 200 was the goal, and in 3 months, which basically was 4 months, 5 months total, really, I guess, of time. But this Q1 was double. I mean, I've never had that happen. It's like I said, it's like being handcuffed to a rocket. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what did I sign up for? This is going faster than I can't even keep up, you know? And it's fun, man. I'm having the best time of my life. I'm so happy to be partnered with you. And I hope the agents that are watching this understand, like, if call Mark Z. I put your email up here on the screen, ask him, talk to him, have a conversation with him, watch the webinar, and have a conversation with Mark about this. And, especially if you're in his market area, sounds like you have an office space and obviously you can help agents grow their business. So, it's just a no-brainer. And I would just encourage people to reach out to you and have a conversation. That's the best thing I can do.
Jay, why don't we do what we say we're going to do? I'm thinking we're coming up on April. Why don't we have a big training event out here in Detroit in May? And let's get a few big players out here. I'm sure we can get Dan Beer, Curtis Johnson. Let's have a little training seminar live here in Detroit. You down?
I'm down. You know what? This is going to sound crazy. Detroit's one of the only cities that I haven't been to.
Oh,
one
wow.
of the only cities I haven't been to. So I'm looking forward to that. I'd love to do that, and I'd especially love to do it with you guys. So that's going to be a ton of fun. So we'll do it. What do you think? What dates are we saying? Do we know yet? Sometime in May?
Yeah, we're going to do it sometime mid-May. I'll get back to you on a date. Let me check the schedule and see what's going on. But this is exactly what we were talking about when we started off this webinar, Jay, is the things that we can now do that, were never in the pipeline at one time. 3, 4 of us, big players, big volume guys come together and give something back to the agents. And that's what I was just saying about why you want to sign up with us is there's a lot of opportunity to partner with us, even though you're not on our teams.
Right.
There's a lot of opportunity to partner up and be able to help each other in this medium.
Absolutely. Love it. And looking forward to that, man. It's always, how do we put our fires together and make one big fire? And that's what we're doing at eXp. And I would love to come to Detroit and rock it out. So that'll be a blast, man. That'll be a game changer. When have we ever all been in the room, with the intention of adding value to agents ever? It's never happened, right? Yeah. That's
especially not for free.
Right. That's for sure.
Yeah, right. So I'm excited, Jay. Opportunities knocking. I think my team is just going to be so excited. This is so sticky for teams too. There's so much I have an opportunity to give back now to all my team members. The revenue sharing is just huge. Another income stream for them. They're each going to get their own website. They can market that and bring in their own leads. All the stock shares they're going to get. They actually have an opportunity to have a retirement plan set up, put some money aside, buy stocks at a discount. There's just so much. I'm so excited.
Yeah, me too, man. I don't know what people are thinking or what story. Blake Sloan said to me one he actually was speaking at one of our masterminds. And he was like, what's the bullshit story you're telling yourself? And that was kind of part of his talk, what he was talking about. And you always got the story that you're telling yourself. And I just wonder what it is. What is the story people are telling themselves that aren't opening, that like being open-minded enough to just like, let me really look for truth. What is truth? Where's true? I'm looking for that. And let me see, is this true or is it not true? And like when you remain open-minded enough and you quit listening to the bullshit story in your head, right. Keeping you from doing something or from hearing it or seeing it or the filter you were listening to, through, you just can't not see it. And I hope that, I genuinely want to help more people become more successful in real estate. It's all I've done for the last 20 years. So, I'm just happy to be able to partner with you and work together and Curtis and Daniel. And it's a rock star team. If you don't think we can help you grow your business and you don't think this is a good fit for you at eXp, maybe you're just not a good fit.
Yeah, Jay. I don't know. This week, since I announced on Monday, phone's been ringing off the hook all day long. I'd say 8 out of 10 people have never watched the webinar, have never looked into it. All they've done is hear about it.
Right.
It's mind-boggling to me that you wouldn't at least sit down and watch a 1-hour webinar and learn exactly what it is that they offer, and at least not be open to it. Like, why not just look into it? That's where it all started for me. I'm sure that's where it started for you.
Gotcha.
What's that webinar, Jay? Didn't you do a webinar?
Yeah. I'll tell you what we'll do. It'll actually be, I think it'll be markz.agentgrowth. And I'll put that on here. It's not going to work right now. But I'm going to set this up. So, it'll be markz.agentgrowth.com.
All right, perfect.
And we'll put that on here. We'll put a link up here. So for anybody that's watching this, if you're watching it live with us right now, it may not work. But by the time you watch this in probably the next 10 minutes, that'll work. So you can watch it there. And I should have set that up sooner. So that was my fault. But yeah, so watch that, check it out. It'll be, http:// markz.agentgrowth.com. So check that out. Watch it. Watch the webinar and reach out to Mark Z and come join the fun, man.
Jay, all the hundreds of people that sign up in the next 10 minutes before that link's working, those are all mine.
Right. You got them all. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No question. And
right, I'll see you in May. I'm sure we'll be talking sometime between now and then. Otherwise, we'll see you in May. Looking forward to it. Look for the invites, guys. If you guys are watching in Detroit, Ohio, Chicago, any of the surrounding states, we're going to have a big event, like I said, in mid-May, and we'll have some of the best trainers in the world.
Got it, man. Looking forward to that. Thank you guys for tuning in, and it's always great chatting with you, Mark. Have a great day, man.
Yep, bye-bye.